Hello everyone, how are things? Gonna get started here in just a couple of minutes. The main event begins at 3 o'clock today, so we have a little bit of time. The swim gets underway at 3 p.m. Eastern, that's in about 35 minutes. And we'll be doing a bit of a preview here in just a couple. Welcome. Welcome to the Harnkegger Game 6, Day 3, here on twitch.tv/LOTRO stream. Really appreciate you joining us. These are archived on YouTube and Twitch, so if you're watching this after the event, thank you very much. Hope you're enjoying it. If you want to get more information about the Harnkegger games, you can go to harnkeggergames.simplesite.com. If you like the music that you just heard, that is Chance Thomas's LOTRO 10th Anniversary soundtrack, which is available both in MP3 and now in a CD edition. You can find that at hugesoundrecords.com. We're getting, like I say, kind of getting started here in just a little bit. We're in a pretty place called the Shire today for the Harnkegger games. We've got a swim going on. We also have a fishing competition that'll be taking place. We're going to be doing a swim from the Brandywine Bridge, and then a fishing competition as well, and we could talk a little bit about how that's all going to go and how that's going to run and how the standings are and what have you. We'll have someone from the Harnkegger games on real soon as well. Hello, Alfwine, Nightingales and Lions. 80s guy. I was watching a really bad 80s movie the other last night. It was a 1988 fine film with a budget, according to IMDb, of $60,000 called Mutant War. It was really bad in a really great way. It was one of those sort of post-apocalyptic, super-duper low-budget films. Man, was it bad. As you can see, we've already got some competitors lining up and getting ready to do the swim. Yeah, it was definitely good for a laugh, and laughter was indeed had. Let me bring up a little music, since it looks like we've got someone playing a little player music here. The site of the Brandywine Bridge. I see some familiar contestants from yesterday, along with probably a few new folks. Just a reminder, oops, gotta be a little careful when I'm on my admin camera, so I don't do too much like that. I'm this guy hidden over here. The reason I'm floaty like that is I'm invisible to everyone but myself. That's an admin camera thing. I can also make myself visible in the world. This is somewhat of a role-playing event, so I want to be kind of careful about not being too lore-breaking, but I did name my character Cordovan Camera, and the reason I did that is I wanted people to be aware that if I was around, that, you know, there should be at least some expectation that they might end up on the live stream here. And if you don't want to be on the live stream, well, what are you doing doing all this? Well, no, I appreciate that, but, you know. Alright. Alright, Harnkegger Games, Day 6. I'm going to be getting started, like I said, in just a couple of minutes. Event begins in about a half hour. It's our swim race, and then afterwards we have a fishing competition. Jumping up and down. Hello and welcome to twitch.tv/LOTRO stream, the scene of Harnkegger Games 6, Day 3, taking place amongst the hobbits today. We have a swim and a fishing competition. We're going to have some folks from the Harnkegger Games themselves very soon. First, let me actually talk a little bit about the standings. Let me get this up. Alright, Day 2 of the Harnkegger Games brought the strength of the dwarves. They snapped up 4 out of the 6 medals up for grabs on the day. They took gold in the cross-country run, also got a bronze, silver, and gold in the fire run jump. As a result, the dwarves are now on the nation's leaderboard in first place with 9 points. Race of men have 5, and elves have 4. Hobbits do not yet have any medals. But since the stuff today takes place in the Shire, maybe they're going to set that straight today. For those who don't know how it all works, let me head over here. Each event basically is a gold, silver, and bronze winner, and the race of the character that wins each medal will earn points for their nation. So bronze gets 1, silver 2, gold 3. At the end of the Harnkegger competition on Sunday, they're going to pick a winner here in terms of which nation wins the games for year-long bragging rights. In addition, each competition also does have its own gold, silver, and bronze, each with its own kind of rewards as well. We're going to head into this today with the Brandywine Long Swim. Starts in about a half hour here at the Brandywine Bridge. No limit on the total number of competitors. They go from the Brandywine Bridge all the way to Buckleberry Ferry on the Shire side. No buffs. They have to touch with their hand or head the edge of the pier. The first swimmer to do so wins. They can take whatever path they want, but they have to be in the river and they cannot jump. They're not allowed to jump at any time during the race, with the exception of jumping off the bridge into the water. Stewards are going to be monitoring things that can't be anonymous, and again, no buffs of any kind. Gold winner gets 100 gold coins, a 500 LOTRO points code, and a sturdy steel key. Silver medalist gets 25 gold, and a bronze gets 10. Turn down the player music just a little bit. For the second event, as you can see, let me just kind of show this here. This is where we're all lining up right now. Then we're going to be going down the river all the way to Buckleberry Ferry. Then the fishing competition is going to be taking place at the Isle Pond near Bam Furlong in the Marish. It happens right after the swim. Music, plenty of food between the end of the fishing and the announcement of the gold medal winners. Cooks will be standing by to turn all those fresh fish into delicious dishes. The basic idea is competitors have 15 minutes to catch as many fish as they can. They get points depending on the kind of fish caught. 5 points for a mountable one, 3 points for a craft edible fish, 1 point for everything else, minus 1 point for any non-fish. All competitors must be in a raid. Judges will count the points. The event is only allowed 44 competitors. Presumably they're going to have 4 judges, 11 people each, right? So that makes the 12. It's advised to be on time, so you increase your likelihood to compete. No qualifiers in this one. If there's a tie, the competitor with the least number of non-fish gets a tiebreaker there. A gold medal, again, 100 gold, 500 LOTRO points, and a sturdy steel key, and then 25 and 10 for the silver and bronze. So there we go. And then tomorrow we've got the relay run and the sparring tournament, which should be pretty cool as well. And that'll be right here. We go from about 2 o'clock-ish to about 4:30, depending on when the games get underway. And we try to start about a half hour early here so that we can talk a little bit about what's going on that day and what have you. So, that's the plans. Hello, Uger. Crick Hollow, appreciate you being here. It is on IMDb. Let me see if I can dig it up, because I was just looking at this god-awful, awesome movie yesterday. There we go. It is too bad. Big Ed Mustafa would be a fantastic person to do this if he was interested, but he's probably doing things like working and what have you. Gordon's out today as well. That's why he's not joining me. Earthling gets underway at 4-ish. She may join me for the start of the show here, or towards the end of the show here, and then go into her program as well. And then also, tonight at 7 o'clock, we've got the Wanderings of Alapanya, and that'll begin at 7 p.m. Eastern. I'll be back at noon on Thursday for Court of the Rings. Don't quite know what I'm going to do yet. Probably just continue doing some book questing. And then I'll be back at 2 o'clock for the event. I'll be streaming Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I'm going to be here this weekend, actually, doing a little bit of work and having fun. So. Not more of Gord's terrible movie suggestions. I've got lots of them. I love bad movies. I love bad movies so much. Yep. You know which one I was talking about. That one was Rock and Roll Nightmare. That was in Slack chat. Yep. Alright, so, like I say, we're just basically getting people ready here for the fishing competition. Or not fishing competition, but the long swim. It gets underway in about 20-some minutes here. People logging in and getting ready. You're going to be jumping in. I don't know, let me actually see if I can put on a fast run and kind of show you what's going to happen here. So they jump at the start. I'm moving fast. I'm on a super run speed, just to kind of show you how this all works. You can take any path they want, of course, but they do have to stay in the water. They go until they touch the Buckleberry Ferry. they have to, like, touch the bridge here. So, that's how it goes. I thought I did reply to you, Uger, about streaming. I'm happy to do it. I'm a little busy this week because of the Harnkegger games and such, so... actually, I did. I replied to that on Facebook this morning. I asked if I could just get a link to your Twitch page, and I'll check out some of your archived videos and all that sort of thing. Oop, Shire side of the ferry. Okay. There you go. Still, that's the basic route. Oops. You know, in LOTRO, you don't have to be in a swimming suit in order to do this competition. Oh, you wrote back to me? Okay, I just haven't had time to get back to Facebook messages yet today. I will. So it's going to be next week. I've got one other person that's also interested in streaming, and I just kind of don't have time to deal with that, along with all the other stuff I have to do here this week. So I'll get back to you probably first thing next week here. So. Hello, Duero Scholar. I don't know if you can hear me. I think you might be deafened here.
Hello, Cordon.
Hey, how's it going? Appreciate you joining me here today. We're just kind of getting ready to start the Brandywine long swim, and that's the swim long distance file, I think, right?
It is, yeah.
Okay, cool. Yep. Want to get that on the stream here. So welcome. How are things going on the organizer side? You guys keeping your sanity?
Barely. No, things are going grand. There was a bit of a extra rush, I would say, just now because of a minor rule that we had to adapt. Don't know if you want me to talk about this now or...
No, go ahead. So actually, before we get to that though, let's back up just a little bit and kind of reiterate the rules for the people who are just joining. This is the Brandywine Long Swim, starts at 3 o'clock Eastern at the Brandywine Bridge, where we are now. Competitors can basically jump off the bridge here, then they're swimming all the way to the Buckleberry Ferry on the Shire side, and that's kind of up to them how they get there, but they've got to stay in the water, they can't be jumping and all that sort of thing. No buffs, and they have to not be anonymous, and that's just so that we can confirm that they have no buffs and all that sort of thing.
Yep. The rule that changed is that originally the competitors had to jump onto the pier. Now, we had tested this, but apparently because of course we are dwarven kinships and a hobbit kinship. We haven't tested this with elves and men, and that apparently it seems to be a problem because they can't jump onto that pier. So what we've done now is we've slightly changed the rules. So the first competitor to touch the pier, whether with their head or with their hand. So we're going to be taking photo finishes there. So it's no longer jumping onto the pier, you just need to touch it. So that's the difference, just to accommodate the elves and the men.
Very cool. And then afterwards we've got the fishing competition today, and that's really, if I read it correctly, basically 4 raid groups, 11 people, 11 competitors, and a judge in each group, correct?
More or less, it's 2 raid groups that we're having. In each raid group there are 2 judges. Because we're using a plugin that allows us to count the fish that are caught, and just in case if one judge would crash, then obviously there is one more that is counting the fish, so that we don't need to start over.
Cool.
So that's the idea. So in each raid we would have 2 judges and 22 competitors. So that makes a total of, or is it 21? Makes a total of 42, I think, for those 2 groups. Or was it 44? I would need to check.
Can you tell me about this plugin? Is it something that was made just for the Harnkegger games?
No, it was made, if not mistaken, by a hobbit called Simbo, which is also the same hobbit who made the Neo Kuzdul plugin, which allows you to speak Dwarvish in game, which is
cool.
Quite handy for role players. So he made this plugin for fishing contests, and there are plenty of those on Lorelin. The hobbits, for instance, the Shire Angling Club, do several of these competitions a year. Previously they had to turn in their fish, and that became a bit messy. So with this plugin, you automatically get a file that tells you who caught what, as long as you're in that raid channel, and you can even give them points, and you immediately see the scores, and it really helped us out. Yeah.
And the basic scoring is the trophy fish get the most points, then the craftable fish, then just kind of all the other fish, and then all the non-fish, like the boots and that, actually hurt your score.
Yes, that is correct. So you have weeds, rusty daggers, and that kind of thing. Yeah, that might not be a good thing if you catch many of those, because you're going to get -1 point for any non-fish that you catch.
Now, Big Ed is going to hate me for this, because I've not done a lot of fishing in the game yet. How random is this, are we talking about?
Well, to be honest, I don't do much fishing myself in the game, apart from a few competitions that I've entered. But I've never seen any, let me put it that way, I've never seen any logic to it. It's not like if you're on a roll, you get one good fish after the other. I've never seen that. So I think for that one, you need a fair dose of luck.
And, this is a fun competition as well. So that's really all that. So, in terms of the overall standings, day 1 went to the Nation of Men from their one competition, and then yesterday we really saw the Dwarves take a pretty strong lead here for day 2.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. They had 4 out of 6 medals yesterday, earning them 9 points. The 2 gold medals are up for grabs yesterday were gone to the Dwarves as well. So from 0 on day 1, they are up to 9, which gives them a pretty good lead as well, considering that men are now up to 5 points and elves at 4. Sadly, the hobbits are still at 0 at the moment, yet we are in the Shire, so obviously their pride is at stake here. And considering the fact that there's a fishing competition in a bit, I mean... So I'm convinced that the hobbits will do their best, just as the dwarves had their pride in Thorin's Hall yesterday and grabbed several of their of the medals that I kind of had assumed they would. But
and if I count it correctly, including today's stuff, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 more events on top of this. So up to really 30 points can be earned, all said and done, for the various nations yet to be determined in this race. So even a spread of, you know, 4 or 5 or that can pretty easily be overcome in a day.
Yeah, I mean, if you consider it, every event basically has 6 points up for grabs. You have the golds, which is 3, silver 2, and the bronze is 1, so that's 6 points. So considering the fact that there are about 10 more events to come, you know, there's 60 points that can still be divided. The records that we have for the most points, if not mistaken, was 41. So again, that could be beat this year, which was for the Nation of Dwarves last year, where they got 41 points, which was the record year before. I think it was 40, also for the Nation of Dwarves. So yeah, it's still all possible. Even the hobbits could still win it.
Yeah.
Even if they don't have even if they have 0 points at the moment. I mean, there's still a lot of events to go.
Very much so. All right, so I guess otherwise, you know, I just want to thank all the organizers again. You said yesterday, it's probably worth repeating here during this introductory segment, that we have several kinships that are really involved in making this thing happen. Let's give them a shout out.
Well, there's Durin's Folk with the kinship that I lead and the kinship that started the Harnkegger games some 6 years ago. Then there is the Shire Angling Club, obviously the Hobbit kinship, who are taking on the fishing event among other events like the poetry event. So they've been a great help as well to these games, essential, I would say. And in last year we had another kinship joining us, which is another dwarven kinship, which is the Blue Mountains Regiment, and they have several stewards and hosts as well joining in for loads of events. You can see all these striped pajama guys running around from the 3 kinships. So yeah, that's us basically, having a ball and trying to do the best we can for everybody.
I'm assuming that in future years particularly, you're always in need of volunteers to help with organization. So if someone's interested in joining up, is that something they can do?
Yes, if there are kinships within on Lordaeron, obviously, that have, well, if they have a interest in organizing or helping us to organize the future games, obviously not these, because we've organized these and there would be no point at this point. But for next year, there is definitely an opportunity for any kinship that would say, yeah, we want to help out and ensure that these games go smoothly, and maybe come up with have a couple of ideas for events and that kind of thing. So yeah, we are obviously open for that.
Very cool, very cool. All right, I'm going to let you get going here. Looks like we've got about 10 minutes until the start of the swim competition. I really appreciate you joining me today, and I look forward to talking with you or someone else from the organization group tomorrow.
All right, cool.
Great.
Thank you again.
Awesome. All right, well, thank you again to Durin's Folk and all the other folks who are involved in getting this thing happening. We are about 10 minutes away from the first event of 2 today, the long swim, the Brandywine long swim on the Harnkegger Game 6, here on twitch.tv/LOTRO stream. You can see we got a lot of competitors starting to show up. They are going to be jumping off this bridge in about 10 minutes, finding their own path, but they must stay in the water and they must not jump in the water. And they're going all the way to the Buckland Ferry on the Shire side. And that's the first event. And then after that, we've got our fishing competition, which is going to be a 15-minute long basic fishing frenzy to see who can catch the most fish. And that's day 3. Tomorrow we're going to have the relay run in Gondaman. Actually, both events happen in Gondaman tomorrow. We've got the relay run starting at 2:30 p.m. Eastern, and then the sparring tournament at 3. And again, for those who don't know, this is the 6th year of the Harnkegger Games. It's a sporting competition, not unlike an event that has a trademarked name in real life that we're not going to mention here. But with the Lord of the Rings online twist. Alright, I'm gonna shut up here a little bit and just kind of show off some names of the participants here so that you can see them. And also wait for the competition to start. So I'll be back in a little bit. Thanks.